Have you ever felt heavy, but you couldn't explain why? Like your body is moving through the day, but your spirit is dragging something behind it? Sometimes it's not one big thing. Sometimes it's 1,000 tiny things you never said, a conversation you keep replaying, an apology you never received, a version of yourself you're still grieving, a person you forgave out loud but not in your nervous system. And sometimes the reason you can't move forward is because your soul is still holding paperwork from a chapter that already closed. That is where the burn letter comes in. A burn letter is not about being dramatic. It is not about sending someone a message. It is not about reopening the door. It is a sacred release. You write down what hurt you. You write down what you wish you said. You write down what you're tired of carrying, and then safely you release it. You can burn it, tear it up, shred it, bury it, or simply destroy it in a way that symbolizes this no longer has permission to live inside me. So today, let's talk about the 8 signs you need to write down what's weighing on you and let it go. 1. You keep having imaginary conversations in your head. The first sign is when you keep replaying conversations that never fully happened. You're in the shower giving the perfect comeback. You're driving and suddenly explaining your side of the story to someone who isn't even in the car. You're lying in bed, mentally defending yourself like the courtroom of your mind is still in session. That is not random. That is your spirit saying, there are words trapped inside me. Sometimes we don't need to say those words to the other person. Sometimes they don't deserve access to our vulnerability. Sometimes the safest place for those words is the page. A burn letter lets you say everything without consequence. No filter, no performance. No editing yourself to be mature, nice, spiritual, or above it. Because let's be honest, healing does not always sound graceful at first. Sometimes healing sounds like, that hurt me. Sometimes it sounds like, I deserved better. Sometimes it sounds like, I am angry that I had to survive that. Write it down. Your mind keeps replaying it because your body is asking for release. 2. You feel emotionally tired, even when nothing major happened. The second sign is emotional exhaustion. You wake up tired. You move through the day tired. You smile, answer messages, do the work, but underneath it all, your spirit feels heavy. And the confusing part is, nothing dramatic may have happened that day. But that's because the weight is old. You're not just tired from today. You're tired from everything you never processed. Unspoken resentment is heavy. Uncried tears are heavy. Pretending you're okay is heavy. Being the strong one all the time is heavy. A burn letter gives the weight somewhere to go, because what you don't release, you carry. And what you carry long enough, you start calling your personality. You are not just tired. You may be spiritually overcrowded. 3. You keep attracting reminders of the same wound. The third sign is when life keeps showing you the same wound in different costumes. Different person, same disrespect, different situation, same abandonment feeling. Different environment, same old trigger. At some point you have to ask, is this happening to punish me? Or is this showing me what still needs to be released? Sometimes the universe does not repeat lessons because you failed. Sometimes it repeats them because a part of you is still attached to the pain. Not the person, not the situation, the pain. Because pain can become familiar, and familiar can start to feel safe even when it's destroying your peace. A burn letter helps you break the energetic agreement. You can write, I release the version of me who thought this was all I deserved. That right there is not just writing. That is spiritual eviction. 4. You feel like you forgave them, but your body still reacts. The fourth sign is when your mouth says, I'm over it, but your body says, no, we are not. You hear their name and your stomach drops. You see something that reminds you of them and your chest tightens. You think about what happened and suddenly your mood changes. That doesn't mean you failed at forgiveness. It means your mind moved on before your body felt safe enough to release. Forgiveness is a process of removing emotional hooks from your energy field one by one. A burn letter can help with that. You are allowed to say, I forgive myself for staying too long. I forgive myself for shrinking to keep the peace. Sometimes the person you most need to write the letter to is the version of you who survived it. 5. You are carrying guilt that no longer belongs to you. The fifth sign is guilt. I'm talking about the kind of guilt that keeps you loyal to your own suffering. Guilt for outgrowing people. Guilt for setting boundaries. Guilt for saying no. Guilt for choosing peace. Guilt for becoming someone they can no longer control. Let me say this clearly. You do not owe anyone lifelong access to you just because they knew an older version of you. Some people are not upset because you changed. They are upset because your healing removed their privileges. Write the guilt down. Write every sentence your mind keeps using against you. Then answer it with truth. No, I did what I could with what I knew. Because guilt is one of the sneakiest chains. It looks like loyalty. 6. You keep waiting for closure from someone who benefits from your confusion. This is a hard one because sometimes we think closure means they finally explain themselves. They finally apologize. They finally admit what they did. But some people will never give you closure because your confusion keeps the door cracked open, so you have to create your own. 7. Your intuition keeps telling you something needs to be released. You write the truth. You write the ending. You write, I accept that I can move forward without them understanding me. That is power. 7. Your intuition keeps telling you something needs to be released. The 7th sign is when you feel that quiet inner nudge. Something in you knows, I need to let this go. Not because it didn't matter, but because you are tired of giving your life force to something that already took enough from you. Your intuition will often whisper before your life starts screaming. It may show up as restlessness, as wanting to clean your space or pull your energy back. That is your spirit preparing for release. The burn letter becomes the ritual that matches what your soul already knows. Write it down, name it, and release it. 8. You are ready to become someone new, but the old pain keeps calling your name. The final sign is when you can feel a new version of yourself trying to emerge. You want to move differently, choose differently, but something old keeps pulling on you. Old stories, old wounds. That is when a burn letter becomes more than a release. It becomes a doorway. You are not just letting go of what happened. You are letting go of who you had to become to survive what happened. The guarded version, the people-pleasing version, the version that kept accepting crumbs because she forgot she was the whole table. Write to that version of you. Tell her, thank you for surviving, but I am safe to become someone new now. And then release the letter, not with rage, but with reverence, because that chapter may have wounded you, but it also awakened you. So if your heart has been heavy, if your mind keeps replaying the past, this may be your sign. Write it down, write the anger, write the grief, write the truth, then let it go. Burn it safely, tear it up, or release it in whatever way feels sacred for you. But do not keep carrying emotional weight just because you learned how to function under pressure. You were not created to be a storage unit for pain. You were created to transform, and sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is take the burden out of your body and put it on the page. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, move with clarity, move like the universe is listening, because it is. Keep elevating.